The new Wolverine Jazz Orchestra is a triumph on several layers. It magnificently represents the music of a golden era of jazz. It's inspired mainly by the music of Bix Beiderbecke, but also by others, and I imagine they'll be playing the music of these people tonight, the music of Benny Goodman, the music of Bunny Berrigan. They're also rate very highly for their great artistry and performance, and for being so entertaining. They've toured very successfully in Australia. I've bumped into them at festivals all over the country. But they've also toured very successfully in America, where they've won some very prestigious awards, and where they made their latest CD, which is called Jazz in Jersey, which was made in New Jersey, in the east coast of America. And they'll be touring again there this year. So please welcome them. The band is led by the saxophonist Trevor Rippingale, and to open Jazz in the Domain 2002, please welcome the new Wolverine Jazz Orchestra.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's wonderful to be with you in this wonderful area this afternoon. We think it appropriate to start off with an Australian jazz tune by one of the great Australian jazz bands of all time, Frank Johnson and his fabulous Dixielanders, and they used to play this tune that Frank Johnson himself wrote called Waka the Fish. Well, that was Frank Johnson's wonderful tune called Walk of the Fish, an Australian start to an Australian jazz concert. We're going to go to the great name of jazz and swing, Bunny Berrigan, and present to you a tune that hit the tops in the 30s, 40s, 50s and was resuscitated again in the 60s and 70s. Jeff Power, our cornet player, is going to present for you Bunny Berrigan's I Can't Get Started. Jeff Power with Bunny Berrigan's classic from the swing era, I Can't Get Started. Well, we have something with a little bit of a Middle Eastern flavour in it for you at the moment, seeing as the Middle East is in the news at the moment. And it's an old tune from one of the great bands. Isham Jones and his orchestra from the 1930s played a tune called The Snake Charmer. And we're going to try and reproduce for you Isham Jones's Snake Charmer from the 1930s. One, two, 1, 2, 3, 4. They got kinks in all their necks. Hard licks made his business bad. Still he went on his merry way. How they laughed when they heard him play. As long as he could swing, he didn't care. And though he never made a cent playing jazz on that instrument, still he was the toast of every Harry. Sheiks knew he was in demand, so they decreed he should lead a jazz band. Now they're weaving magic spells, jamming in those swell hotels to stay. Charmer from old Baghdad. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce the band to you, who are all delighted to be here this afternoon with you. On piano, we have Robert Smith from Mittagong, New South Wales. On string bass, we have the founder of the Sydney Jazz Club, Harry Harmon, from Canwell on the Central Coast. On drums tonight, we have our vocalist and percussionist, Neil Macbeth, from Randwick. On banjo and guitar, Stuart Binstead from Seaforth on the Northern Beaches. From French's Forest, we have Jim Elliott on trombone, clarinet and tenor saxophone. And you've all already met our lead cornet player, Jeff Power, who will also be vocalising later on in the set. Jeff Power on vocal. I'm Trevor Rippingale, and I have the pleasure of coordinating this band, and I love doing it. And we have enjoyed our 4 tours of the United States, where we play mainly Bix Beiderbecke's tunes. Now, Bix Beiderbecke was the great cornet player who provided an alternative jazz style to that provided by Louis Armstrong. And the great tune for which he is perhaps best known is the one we're going to play next, and that's called Singin' the Blues. It was, in fact, his recording which set the scene for Lester Young's later developments, inspired Lester Young, and into the, further beyond that, into the bop and cool eras. So there's a lot hanging on this one arrangement. We'll try and do it as near to the original arrangement from 1924 as we can. Singin' the Blues, Bix Beiderbecke. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Well, there we are. Bix by the Bix singing the blues. You heard Jeff Power get as near as I've heard to Bix by the Bix original cornet solo. Jim Elliott played the Jimmy Dorsey clarinet solo, and I did my best to present the great Frank Trumbauer's saxophone solo for you on that. Here's another tune that was written by one of Bix by the Bix band members in the 1920s. It's called Angry. It's a tune that survived well into the 20th century. And our drummer, Neil Macbeth, is going to sing this one for us. Angry from the 1920s. Well, that was Neil Macbeth on the drums and singing at the same time. Or some call it that anyway. From Angry, let's go to another tune from the late 20s in the United States. And we're going to ask our cornet player, Jeff Power, to sing this one for you. That's called Rose of Washington Square.
Your finest D7, please, Archbishop. Oh, very nice. She's Rosie, the queen of the models. She used to live up in the Bronx, but she wandered from there down to Washington Square and those bohemian honky-tonks. And there she met Ricky Adams. He said, I like roses with stems. So he got her to pose for a picture on the cover of Jim's, the Luton Girls Choir. And that's how she first got her start. And now she's devoted to art. They call her Rose of Washington Square. She's withering there in basement air. She's fading, posing plain or fancy clothes. It seems her room and nose appeals to those artistic people bows. She's got plenty of those and second-hand clothes and nice long hair. She's got those Broadway vampires lashed to the mast. Got no future, but ha, what a past. She's Rose of Washington Square. She's got plenty of those and second-hand clothes and nice long hair. She's got those Broadway vampires lashed to the mast. Got no future, but oh, what a past. She's Rose of Washington Square.
Jeff Power with Rose of Washington Square. Well, one of the other great names in the swing area and the jazz area, of course. He lived through both and is still alive today. It's the great Artie Shaw, leader of one of the greatest big bands ever. But before that, he'd played with most of the jazz bands in New York and Chicago. Here's his 1940 arrangement for his little group called the Gramercy Five, of a tune we all know called My Blue Heaven. We had the honour of meeting Artie Shaw just a few years back in America, and he was very encouraging, and he sat right through one of our concerts, and it was a great privilege to meet him. So here's Artie's My Blue Heaven, a la the great Gramercy Five from from 1940. One, There we are, Artie Shaw's My Blue Heaven. Deep down south. We're going to finish off now, our time is up, and thank you for your wonderful support for our music. It's great to get that reaction. And, lovely, thank you. Well, here's one of the last tunes that the great Bix Beiderbecke ever recorded with his own big band called Bix Beiderbecke and his Orchestra in 1930, shortly before he died at the all too early age of 28 years of age, having set the jazz world on fire. And for a 28-year-old man to achieve that in any era was magnificent. And here we are 70-odd years later, still revering that 28-year-old's contribution to the music. Deep Down South is the name of this tune. We hope you'll like it. We're going to change our instruments around. Jeff will be on trombone for this one, Jim on clarinet, and I'll be doing alto. Deep Down South, Bix Beiderbecke, 1930. Straight in, chorus. 1, 2, 1, 2. tree with a shack sitting under its bough. The thought drives me wild, Lord guide this child deep down south. Now I want to rest and ever be pressed in arms that'll hold me and howl. Those tears start to roll, Lord guide the soul deep down south. Each memory romantically calls me back there. There used to be tranquility, no trouble or care. Oh, I want to reap that head of sweet corn cob that melts in your mouth. So I repeat, Lord guide my feet deep down south. Romantically calls me back there. There used to be tranquility, no trouble or care. Oh, I want to reap that head of sweet corn cob that melts in your mouth. So I repeat, Lord guide my feet deep down south. On behalf of the new Wolverines, thank you for having us for the festival. I do hope you enjoy the rest of the concert as well. Lovely reception, thank you for that.
The new Wolverine Jazz Orchestra.